My name is Lisa Scheidler. I'm the office coordinator at the Rose Center, and we welcome you here. We're in downtown Morristown, and the Rose Center was originally the Rose School and opened in 1892 as a coeducational school. It's currently operating as a cultural arts center for a six-county area.
Good morning. My name is Nancy Holder, and I'm here in the art gallery at Rose Center, which is currently displaying photographs commemorating the March on Washington, which occurred in August of 1963, more than 50 years ago. I was very blessed to have been able to attend that march. I grew up in Washington, D.C., and came to Tennessee to go to college at Carson Newman in the fall of 1960. I happened to be home that year working at the Civil Service Commission and was involved with a group called the Congress on Racial Equality, which was one of the big six groups that helped to organize this march. Let me start by saying why this is important. I know for most of you this seems like ancient history, so why is it important? Why is it important to remember something like this? In my mind, it's important because the story of America is the story of overcoming oppression and tyranny. It started at the very beginning with overcoming tyranny of being controlled by another nation across the ocean. And it has continued on and will continue on until we finally, at some point, achieve the goal that Thomas Jefferson mentioned in the Declaration of Independence, citing that all men, and that includes women, all humanity, all men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with inalienable rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. This march that took place in 1963 came a little more than 100 years after the abolition of slavery. So what's important about that is that change does not happen quickly. There's always resistance to change. It's our human nature to be fearful of change. But it does move forward. The arc of history moves towards more equality, more involvement of all people, equal treatment under the law, and hopefully equal treatment in society. We had some fear that there could be outbreaks of violence, opposition to the march, all sorts of things, but it turned out just the opposite. It was very peaceful, very calm, very beautiful, and a real feeling of brotherhood. About a fourth of the people there were white. So the majority of the faces you see in the photographs around us are black, but about a fourth of us were white. And they were sitting around the reflection pool between the Washington Monument and the Lincoln Memorial. There were people dangling their feet in the water because it was a warm day, sitting side by side. And that's just a reflection of what we would like it to be in that reflection pool. I was remarking earlier that many of you are not familiar with seeing black and white photographs. And of course, at the time, that's mostly what we had, were black and white photographs. But that in itself is kind of a symbol, the black and white together, and how dramatic and nice that is to see. So I was very blessed to be there. In addition to why we should remember that march, why are we having this holiday on Monday? I know everybody gets out from school and that's a great thing, but why are we having that? Who is MLK? I actually heard somebody ask that question. Who is MLK? Well, Dr. Martin Luther King was a Baptist preacher and an activist who worked peacefully to try to move us forward. And then in our history, an individual rises up who challenges us to listen to the better angels of our nature. And Dr. Martin Luther King was one of those people, and that's why we remember him. The speech that he gave, the I Have a Dream speech, challenged all of us to look forward to a time when we could join hands in brotherhood and be judged by the content of our character and not by the color of our skin or our gender or anything else. And that really is the American dream, and it will keep moving forward. We have our own challenges today. Many things have changed, many things have not changed. When I was a young person, I had very little contact with people who were different from me, who were not Caucasian. And it's very easy to distrust people when you don't know them, when you have no relationship with them, no experience with them. But once you know people, as individuals, it's much harder to hold on to those prejudices, that fear, that distrust. And so the laws, the changes in the laws have helped us in that regard by opening up opportunities to know each other in school, to know each other in the workplace, in various places in the community. That has helped. So things are much better than they were in 1963. This photograph of the crowd during the march is taken somewhere from the Lincoln Memorial, which is at this end of the mall. The mall in Washington is a very long expanse between the U.S. Capitol, with the monument being sort of in the middle, the reflection pool, and then the Lincoln Memorial at this end. So the shot must have been taken from this angle. You can see it looks like a mass of humanity, which it really was, and it was even bigger than this if you were there on the ground. It was huge. And the organizers had worked on this whole experience for a year, and there was all kinds of people involved with buses and provisions for people to have food, to places to stay. I mean, it was a big undertaking to move this many people to Washington, D.C., because they all did not come from Washington, D.C. They came from all over the South, from all over the United States to participate in this march. I didn't see it from this angle, obviously. I was on the ground. This angle makes it even more impressive, but on the ground it just seemed like you were lost in a huge crowd of people. But it was one of the largest demonstrations ever in American history for a very important cause, to try to bring us together, to know each other better. This is an example. I was telling my daughter when I was working in the 2008 presidential election, I was so excited. I was so excited that I was going to get to vote for potentially the first African American president. And my daughter says, "What's the big deal?" And at first I was kind of angry with her and kind of distressed by that. What's the big deal? But as I thought about it, that's exactly what we were striving for, that it wouldn't be a big deal, that we were all the same. We all had the same opportunities to achieve our potential, to achieve a happy life, to make a difference in other people's lives. That's what we were wanting. So that in itself is a little symbol to me that we have made progress, but we still have a long way to go. I hope all of you will come and look at this exhibit and see it and be reminded of what it was about, and be challenged in your own lives to seek opportunities to increase liberty and justice for all.